Yes!
This shit's rated T?
I know what
Whoa!
you're wondering.
Wait, that looks crazy.
What is true and what is false?
Why is it so high D? Like,
I know,
Witch
that
Queen
cutscene looks
is an
crazy.
unsettling
This
mystery. Our biggest foe, Sabathune, has our grandest tool, the light.
It's paying off narrative threads that we planted way back in Destiny 1.
I'm here to protect humanity.
How do we stop this?
The stakes in the universe are rising, and it's the greatest
Alright, why
challenge
are
that
the
we've ever
captions in
faced.
Comic Sans?
We're shedding that dogma of light equals good, darkness equals bad. We're really entering the mists and trying to discern what's in front of us and what's lurking just underneath the surface.
What is your truth now?
There are a lot of bombshells in the Witch Queen narrative.
God, his mustache gets better every time.
I was gonna
And
say,
that's
what a
just
smash.
scratching the surface
so
of what we're going to get into this year.
Music.
So good. I actually have chills.
Witch Queen and Season of the Risen is chapter 1 in the beginning of the
Season
end.
of the Risen.
We're really getting to the core of what it means to be a guardian. We are looking
Animated
at
cutscenes?
questions
Yeah, those look
about
crazy.
the light and darkness.
We have a big bad that we've been anticipating for a really
Actual
long
footage
time
on
coming
Mars
back
as well.
in the form of Sabathune.
Sabathune's had a hand in most of the major conflicts that we've been involved with.
We've heard about Sabathune for years and just bits and pieces, and then like you see it slowly building over seasons until we come to this huge critical point.
Sabathune's no longer just someone you hear about.
She's not just interfering in little ways. She's now ready to take center stage.
Sight.
Motion capture in the garage. Let's go.
Sabathune, she's larger than life. We wanted to make her feel imposing and very regal and dancing through motion in some way.
The light offers us a fresh start.
She's very manipulative. She is very ethereal, but she also has like that creepiness to her as well.
She promised she'd help us out with this pyramid ship problem that's coming our way. But the reality of the situation is Sabathune is only on Sabathune's side. We've outlived our purpose, and it is to Sabathune's benefit to wipe us off that chessboard.
How long has it been since you've seen that?
Lived among us. She has played us for
Among
fools.
Us.
She knows us inside and out. And she's been a step ahead of us like, the whole way. So how do you beat someone like that?
It isn't too late. You can still be forgiven. Be careful.
I'll hold you to it.
In order to beat Sabathune, you need to understand Sabathune.
Her throne world is a manifestation of Sabathune's own personality, which is in Witch Queen going through a transformation through the light.
It's a very green personality.
She has these areas that she's kind of trying to shun and push away. For the old hive areas, it's much more atmospheric, it's very dense, it's very claustrophobic, it's spooky.
Chills.
Then when you make your way
Actually,
into the
chills.
Lucent Hive area, it's a lot more open and broad. It's definitely brighter, it's definitely more lively.
We want people to look at it like an impressionist painting. Something that's very pretty from far away, but as you get closer, it's not really what it seems. It's very unsettling.
That's gonna be
You're looking at shapes, you're looking at these things within the world, and you're not entirely sure what they are, and you have to get close and you have to investigate.
What's really going to be exciting for players is that they're going to get to play that part of psychic detective, trying to solve the many mysteries of the throne world.
Spencer, psychic detective.
I saw a raid band.
I think is probably the most ambitious campaign we've made in a very long time.
This might be like a campaign option.
We're building the definitive Destiny campaign, so leaning into the journeys you can find in exotic missions or the mechanics you might find in a dungeon.
You have to kind of think your way through. You have to figure out, like, hey, what do I need to do next in order to get to the end of this?
We've got Sabathune, right? The Queen of Lies. So this campaign is full of surprises.
Sabathune has all these abilities, and you got to make sure that all of the abilities of the bosses would be something worthy of her. And as I kept thinking about this, you know, I felt like I was really becoming
me when I wake up in the morning.
We've also added the legendary difficulty, which is
Legend. It's not for the faint of heart. It's gonna be loaded with these moments that are gonna be frustrating, almost like teeth gnashing. But when you get through those encounters, you're gonna feel like really accomplished.
As people who have worked on raids and dungeons before, being able to broaden that experience for any kind of player who comes in is really important.
If the Witch Queen is the psychic detective fantasy and journey, then Season of the Risen is that same detective throwing on their flak jacket.
Kaido ships on the moon.
Worsted on the moon shit. What the
When Sabathune shows up on our doorstep with light, the first person to lend us help is Kaido.
You want us to hit them?
I need us to hit them.
She's got this light suppressing technology that the Cabal were using in Season of the Chosen, and now she's going to help us use that against the Lucent Hive.
When you're working with Kaya Tall, she has a different approach. It's not about asking questions,
let's go!
It's about getting in there and extracting.
We don't really understand what happened when Sabathune actually was able to take light. So the campaign in Season of the Risen in many ways is about that story. Guardians need to stop Sabathune's advance beyond the throne world. And Sabathune poses an existential threat to everyone because she basically has an undead army.
So we're literally using the Cabal's way of taking away their light now.
This isn't our first time
Uno reverse
in a game
card.
fighting other light bearers, but it is the first time that we'll be facing other light
Imagine if we
bearers
get
that
the slow
have
bombs.
much more relentless motives.
When you look at these Hive Guardians and when they do their abilities, you immediately make that connection like, oh, they are using my powers against me. As soon as we see the Knight,
that's gonna be so annoying.
And it has 2 shields. You immediately are like, oh yeah, I see that connection. And then it's like, and then you're like, it hits you with those things, and then you're dead, and it's just an amazing experience.
The Guardians themselves kind of feel like a fire team that you're fighting against. You got every class represented.
The Acolyte, when that character casts, does very similar thing as the player, like the Arc Wizard. It's ready to go.
the guy who does the
Yeah, that's Dave. I love him.
Yeah, everybody was like, I don't want to watch you defeat him up there.
Have to play that fight over again.
If you're successful in taking down one of these Hive units that are wielding the light, you actually have to go up and kill their ghosts.
Tomo!
That was like one of my favorite things that we were able to do in this game is just that moment where you crush the ghost.
Yes.
Kind of this moral dilemma.
Tomo in his fucking
shoes. A ghost
shoes,
is your
dude.
companion, and now suddenly you have one in your hand and you're about to crush it.
The first time that happens, you're like looking at your hand like, I can't believe what I've just done. Am I doing this? Should I be doing this?
I have a ghost.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What is going on?
Oh, I'm so high.
Sabathune and her Lucent Brood are the most dangerous enemies we've faced so far. And so we're going to need better, more powerful weapons and tools to fight against that threat.
We did a lot of work early on looking at various different types of weapons we could add to the sandbox.
We wanted to introduce a special weapon archetype that was effective more at a middle range, but also had these kind of additional roles associated with it. The glaive is a projectile weapon, and it is a shield, and it's a melee weapon. We wanted to keep that experience in first person. It has an immediacy that you don't really get when you're using a sword because the camera is so much further back. Because this is
and if you
also
run out of
a
ammo, you can
projectile
still
weapon
use it as a
with
melee weapon too.
Slower moving projectile. The onus of skill on aiming these weapons is about leading and compensating for the speed of the projectile and anticipating that.
Not the shotgun
If you're
sound.
in a really difficult encounter and one of your teammates dies somewhere out in the open where you normally wouldn't be able to get to them, you can bring that shield up and actually get the revive and then fall back.
That's sick.
Barrier Knight.
That's sick.
Glaives originate
fuck
with
you, Titans. You're not needed
Sabathune trying to steal an extremely powerful weapon for her own use, and players will use the weapon crafting recipes that they find throughout the campaign in order to reconstruct this incredibly powerful and incredibly ancient weapon.
When you put together your glaive
Show us
campaign, you just get a taste that that's what you want to do for
Please let us make
the rest
Midnight
of the
Ghoul.
weapons that you get.
Weapon crafting lets you target a specific weapon and go and build that, and you know how long it's going to take you to get
Was
there.
that collection?
And you get exactly the thing that you want.
This man's voice is
I really want to
incredible.
see what people
Go,
do
new
with
sniper.
it, and like the feedback that we're gonna get, and people sharing.
Let's go!
With that new system.
You're creating your guardian, and you want to be able to shape your guardian into what you want them to be. And this gives us a great opportunity to continue to do that.
This is a really big
reload a
season for
sword.
weapons in particular. We've got
Place played.
The Osteostriga exotic submachine gun. This is something which Guardians have made, but it's modeled after Weapons of Sorrow, like the one that fires swarms of tiny homing projectiles that land on a target and then explode in this poison burst. We have an exotic machine gun where the whole idea is be the Colossus.
Yes, be the Cabal Colossus. You can do the missiles or the slug, just like Ethan was saying.
We're doing an exotic glaive for each
You become the champion.
Tied deeply into the mechanics of the classes.
You are the
I think they're going to be
anti-Guardian.
really cool additions to build crafting.
Look at that bubble.
We've got, you know, the usual suite of raid
That bubble
weapons,
is
destination.
Yeah, that bubble is not round.
A recount
That bubble is
flat. 50
There's a it looks like a pudding.
You're going to have 2 new
It looks
exotic
like a
50 new weapons?
totaling 6, 1 stasis, 1 non-stasis. The Titan stasis exotic. Cast your barricade, and instead of, you know, this Traveler's Light and the Rally Barricade, you create a giant wall of ice. Even though this thing is massive, you still get all the benefits of Rally Barricade.
Shatter dive.
Warlock Void exotic. We called them the Devouring Rift legs because we wanted Empowering Rift to feel like it had a place in endgame content the way that Healing Rift does. Empowering Rift doesn't heal you. Well, what if it did?
Oh, God.
In season 16, you're going to see a massive revamp to the Void subclass across all 3
That's
classes.
only math,
This is a
though.
huge update and will allow players to build craft and
let's go!
One of the things we
So
want to do
many.
is create a core set of verbs like we did with stasis.
Anyone can run suppressors now. I think
Child
that's
of
a pretty
the
cool
old
thing
gods.
to be able to do.
Anyone can run
suppressors. We wanted you to feel
Giannis!
like you were the energy vampire. Feel like you were the
Hunters are
Night
even more
Stalker.
useless.
Feel like you were that protector, that big sentinel.
Kevin
Titan.
Giannis,
So
the
you're gonna see
anime
things
king.
like
Yo! Oh my God!
Captain America, sentinel shield, slam it into the ground and create this void barricade that's going to apply overshield to you and your buddies.
Oh my God, that's going to be so annoying in PvP.
As this world runs space and time, I'm able to rip a hole into another dimension and then pull out this little like sentient black hole. Whenever I target an enemy, my little black hole buddy is going to fly over there and start draining their life force.
The Void 3.0 update is really
Devour.
thinking about
Warlock's best class. Warlock's best class.
We're going to extend this
Devour
philosophy
buff,
to Solar
everyone.
and Arc. Solar obviously is going to be about burning, but there's this other component to Solar, and that's healing. Arc is all about chaining. It's all about lightning, direct attacks, quickness. We're going to take the fantasies that you know and love today. We're going to embellish them. So what you'll see is like all of the new abilities, all the new actions you take, reinforce that to the core. Pretty excited about it.
Yeah, Kevin Giannis!
Witch Queen is very much a culmination of the last 6 to 7 years of just Destiny all together. And really, this is starting the road to the final showdown. But things aren't necessarily just dark and light anymore. There's a lot more nuance in the game.
The
It's going
cutscenes
to
look
be
so
a real
good.
fight. Players have something that they're really going to be challenged by.
I hope there's more than just like
I can't
one.
wait for everyone to find out what's been going on with Sabathune. Like, I'm excited.
You Guardians are so clever, aren't you?
From the throne world to the campaign to the customizable build crafting, it all comes together to make Destiny feel really new and fresh.
We've got more Destiny coming this year than any other year before. It's one of the most ambitious releases we've ever put together, and the team is firing on all cylinders.
What do you think you're going to do?
Oh my God, it looks so
The most
sick.
ambitious expansion yet.
Every expansion ever.
That is amazing.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
I didn't know I had this much blood in my body. That's in. Never mind.
Yeah.
What?
Wait,
what?
What
was that?
Yo, what the
Nothing,
fuck?
bro. Nothing, bro. Nothing, bro. My bad. My bad. My
Fighting
bad.
the loose.
Fuck yeah, that was sick.
Okay.
Jeez.
That was quite a bit shorter.